So today I'm going to be replacing these black seats with some red ones. From what I've read, it says to disconnect the negative terminal to try and prevent the airbag from deploying in the car, though it's very unlikely. Don't particularly fancy it happening to me. Knowing my luck, it probably will. Okay, battery disconnected. I've used a bit of duct tape just to hold it out of the way. I'm sure it's a waste of tape, but there we go. First mistake I've already made. Clearly I'm not an expert. Is my passenger seat is all the way back, so I can't get access to the rib bolts because it is electrically driven. So epic fail to start with. These bolts run pretty tight, so I'd recommend if you've got a big wrench, it makes all the difference. Try doing it without first. There's a road to nowhere, complete exercise of utility. So one of these definitely makes it a much easier job. I'd also say, learning from experience, as this is the first time I've done this, don't unplug the seats. In terms of don't unplug the battery. I mean, until you've done all the bolts in the seats, because you need to move the seats up and down, and without the power they don't move, so I had to reconnect the battery, which was a bit of a waste of time. It could have saved me 5 minutes if I hadn't bothered doing that in the first place, but live and learn. Okay, that seat bolt was barely tightened up at all, which is worrying. I guess if I ever buy an aftermarket car again, I'll definitely be checking the torque specs on the seat bolts before I drive it around too much. Under the seat you'll find the clips which need to be released before you can pull the seat out of the floor, otherwise they'll snag when the wires don't stretch any further. Okay, just to make sure I've got the right plugs I need to pull out, look at the new seat I'm getting in. Got a plug there, it's been removed, one there, one there. This one does not need to be removed, so I will leave that one alone. That one is still attached and so forth. Okay, so I unclipped all these. I put a bit of tape around here because there's a zip tie holding this one on. There's a zip tie down here as well, and I had to cut through both of them. This one was a bastard. It was very awkward to get to. Took me a while to cut through that. I just put that on to make sure I didn't damage anything else around it while I was cutting it. Surprisingly clean car actually. It's quite unusual for me, but hey, it's always a first. Did a quick hoover just to get out any bits and bobs in there. Just a few stones and so forth. Okay, they're OEMs, so they should fit fine, but just have a quick check. Yeah, and they do line up fine. Just out of curiosity, I thought I'd see if the headrest would fit into the old black seats, but they don't. So I had a secondary moment of panic. I think maybe these were a slightly different design, slightly different shape to the standard seats. But no, they seem to fit in fine. Now just got to plug them in, bolt them up. Passenger side's now installed. Putting it in was actually pretty easy once you know what you're doing. Not sure a black and red combo really goes. I think the other one's going to have to come out. Driver side came out very easily. Once I know what I was doing, probably took me about 7 minutes to remove it, whereas the passenger one took well over an hour. The seats are now in the car. I didn't really film while I was installing them just because there's only me. Just, if you can see there's some plugs under there, I stuck those back in. And then down there's some bolts, there's 4 bolts which I attached. Screwed them in loosely at first, needed a little bit of jigging around to get the seat to sit in flush, and then torque them up to spec. And I'm very happy with it. Looks so much better than it did with the black seats. So once I reconnected the battery, I noticed that when I lowered my window down, it stayed down and didn't come back up again. And this was happening on both sides, and the only way I could raise the window was with the buttons here. But then when I got out of the car, it would just drop down. And I got a clue what I was doing, so thankfully I went on one of the forums and I got some bit of advice. And apparently if you do a window reset, so if you're having the same problem after you've fitted your seats or anything else where you've disconnected the battery, move the window up to the top position, then hold the button down until the window goes to the bottom, hold it there for 15 seconds, and then once you've done that, then raise it back up again and hold it at the top position for another 15 seconds, and that should reset it. And after that, open the door, you find the window drops down a little bit, and when you close the door, it bounces back up. Problem solved. I thought it was going to be an expensive trip to the dealers where they're going to cost me a fortune. Instead, it was a 30-second Google once I was put in the right direction. So thank you very much to the forums for saving my arse on that one.